some buzzwords of the training session of the first day was leaders, teachers, trainers, facilitator. I suppose in yesterday's class, that means in the class of 6th 6th February, he had pointed out the differences between facilitator and teacher. Facilitator are those teachers who makes the things easy for the students, and teachers are may not do that. He just try to give some information, try to make them understand something, but facilitator actually makes a difficult thing easy to learn for the students. So he has mentioned that it is a good idea to train the teacher. And because of the lack of mindset and procrastination, the execution of code of honor sometimes doesn't happen. We should be very mindful about it. According to Blair Singer, he has mentioned another topic. This is very important for us. What is that part? He questioned us, what percentage of our brain is consciously used by us? This was a great question. What percentage of our brain is used by us? This is a very important question for those persons who use brain, who are concerned about the use of brain. Actually, we know that most of us use 2 to 10% of our mind power consciously. Remaining 90% remains unused, and this we should know it very well, because if we can remember this very fact, that then we shall be used to we should be aware about the subconscious mind, where according to Blair, little voices, the origin of little voices. In this training program, another important thing which was the buzzword, an important word, which word or expression came again and again, and it was the little voice. Most of the people are guided by our little voices. Little voices is actually the thought that prevents us from progress. In most cases, there are some doubts. Little voices, I have understood from the lecture that these are the doubts. The doubts should be stopped. He has physically showed us, thumb, stop, stop, stop. Suppose he wanted to mean that we should stop our conflict. We should stop our doubts that come whenever some good thought comes. Most of us observe that when we tend to take some decisions, then some force, some idea seem to draw us backward, and those things are little voices. Little voices, actually the inner part of our voice, the energy of our subconscious mind, and subconscious mind is very powerful, but that subconscious mind is also the dwelling place of our doubts. So we should be very much conscious about the little voices. Actually, little voices resides in our brain, in our nervous system, and they sabotage us from within. Sometimes we make other people responsible for our failure or for being a victim of some unfavorable things, but actually what prevents us is our doubts, and they have been called as sabotager, internal sabotager. In the training program, Blair has mentioned another important thing, and it is the personal development and skill development. We the human beings have to do any type of work, otherwise we cannot live a proper life. So what we need, he has very much emphasized, that is that we should develop both our skill development. We should develop our skills and also personal traits. One is skill development, another is personal development. If we cannot do that, our life will not be balanced. Balanced life is the best life. This is one of my slogan in Facebook. Those persons, those followers, those friends of my Facebook know that balanced life is the best life is one of the slogans of my Facebook, and this has also been mentioned in his training period. Actually, he has given too much importance on skill development and personal development, and in explaining, during the explanation of this very concept, he has mentioned two things. One is context, another is content. Context and content. Context means the environment and or the way in which we try to learn or teach something to someone, and another is content. Content is the thing that we try to learn or teach. He has given the cup as the container. Our body, mind, etc. are actually like container, but here the container is not the is not in the same context. Content refers to tools, attitude, expertise, stories, etc. Content is storage, tools, attitude, expertise, etc. What is important for learning or teaching? He has mentioned that context is more important than content. Context means methodology, and context, or how we are teaching the thing, is more important than what we are teaching. The same thing may be taught in a very charming way, in a very way that attracts the listeners or learners, but the content should be interestingly taught to the explained to the learners, so that they may be easily understood by us. Context and content, these two were also buzzwords during the training period. So method is a very important, and code of honor, rules, our mission, vision. Vision means why do we do it? Whenever we want to do something novel, something great, we should have the perfect goal, perfect mission, perfect vision. And in learning process, teaching process, context or environment is very important. So he has given that training the very idea, and he has also again and again mentioned or stressed that our doubts or little voices should be suppressed, should be stopped, otherwise our growth will not be possible. And in the training period, he has mentioned another important thing. It is that we have to learn, we have to know the mistake, we have to know the admit the mistakes. Making mistake is common to us, but sometimes we the elders, we the teachers, takes such attitude that making mistake was more than a sin, but actually we should know from the core of our heart that my students may make mistakes, but that mistakes should not be despised or explained in such a way that his spontaneous urge for learning does not stop. I am a 51 years old teacher, but have I the right attitude to teach the students? I think sometimes it happens that I become excited, I become unforgiving to them. So this should be changed, and we should not lay blame on others. We should justify the very point we are going to teach. He has mentioned another important thing. It is that we only grow being responsible. This is a very important point. Sometimes during the teamwork, it happens that one people blames the other, but the true leader takes the blame on himself and he tries to make balance between them. And if anyone can be responsible for anything, that is a very important thing, and it should be admitted by us. To take responsibility is a very, very powerful quality according to Blair Singer. To take responsibility is a very powerful quality. And he has mentioned in the training program another important thing, that we, the teacher, should collaborate each other because of the welfare of the mankind. Very interesting thing. During the training session, after some discussion, especially during the training session in the initial period, after 10-15 minutes, he used to send us to breakup room, where he instructed us to review what we learned in yesterday's lesson. This interval type spending of time in the break room was very charming. Sometimes in the middle or during the discussion or teaching, he would give us some topics for our discussion. But initially, at the starting period, this breakup room interval was the time for reviews, and he has mentioned that this type of conversation between some of the participants actually the training for collaborate with each other. We were sharing, we were discussing among us what our mentor has taught us, and this collaboration was a very important part of growth. And he has rightly mentioned that the collaboration between the businessmen, between the coaches is supported, but in school this thing is called cheating. So my question was that is the students should be allowed to collaborate during the exam? That means they would be allowed to cheat. This is very interesting to me. I think as a conscious person, as the initiator of educational revolution in India, I think that our exam system should be transformed. There would be some time during the exam when the students' collaboration, student conversation should be observed by the teacher, and they should be given value. They should be marked. If this happens one day, that would be a very important aspect or revolution in our examination system. I, Naryanchandra Rauth, fervently declare that this sort of change must be brought by us, otherwise our educational system will fail. And let me clear about the thing I am going to mention. During the recruitment period of many companies, there is the session of group discussion, GD, and during the group discussion it is observed the students or the would-be employees are reacting with each other on various topics, and that observation ensures the employer that which candidate is capable of deliver or communicate with others. Without communication skill, one cannot express his ability to others, and the lack of communication skill is one of the demerits of an employee. If he cannot properly communicate with others, then how can he expect that he would be a successful partner of that company? So communication is a very important point, and in that case I think collaboration between the students is greatly expected during the exam, and this should be a part of our exam system. And I am very much expectant that such type of revolution would come to our examination system. Education, according to me, same type of education should not be implemented for all students. The capacity, according to the capacity of the students, they should be divided, and for each of them, for each type of students, various types of education should be prescribed. So I fervently support, I think such type of revolution would come in no time. Teachers to design new methods of education. This was my own thought during the training period. Teachers should think about the design of new type of evaluation. My mentor Blair Singer has mentioned one very important thing. We the teachers are teachers of connection, because through Zoom meeting or room meeting, they could connect, they train them to how to connect with the salesman, how to connect with the students. This is a very important point that has impressed me very much. The way we teach, the way we try to make a student enlightened is actually the process of connection. With my body language, with my throwing of voice, with my words, with my intonation, I am trying to connect with the mind of the students. And Blair